home. What began as a simple disagreement soon spiraled into something terrifying. Shouts filled the cabin, followed by the sound of breaking glass. In a burst of rage, Morris poured water on his partner, yelling words no one on a peaceful cruise should ever hear. Then, in a horrifying moment, he pressed a pillow over her face, his fury blocking out reason. The woman struggled, gasping for air, the sound muffled by the chaos. Somehow, she managed to break free, running barefoot into the hallway, her heart pounding like thunder. Crew members found her trembling, tears mixed with salt from the sea air. The ship's staff immediately intervened, reporting the assault to the authorities waiting ashore. By the time the cruise docked in Belgium, the story had already begun spreading like wildfire. The police were waiting. David Morris, the man who once promised a relaxing getaway, was led away in handcuffs, his dream vacation turning into a nightmare that would end behind prison bars. But the waves carry more than one story. And as David's world collapsed, another kind of chaos was unfolding across the decks. A battle not of violence, but of territory. While David Morris's arrest shocked the passengers, life on board continued, at least on the surface. Yet beneath the calm music and warm sun, another war was quietly raging. They called it the Chairhog Conflict. Every morning, guests raced to the pool deck before sunrise, laying down towels, magazines, even pieces of fruit, bananas and apples, to mark their territory. Some would disappear for hours, returning long after others had given up hope of finding a seat. Royal Caribbean had rules. Only 30 minutes of seat reservation, but enforcement was spotty and frustration boiled like the engine below decks. Families argued, strangers shouted, and the atmosphere grew tense. What should have been a relaxing cruise began to feel like a silent competition for control. Even the staff couldn't keep up, collecting abandoned towels only to find them replaced minutes later. As the sun set, a group of passengers stood watching the horizon, complaining about fairness, respect, and the fading sense of vacation peace. For some, the ship was no longer a paradise. It was a floating symbol of human nature, greed, impatience, and the endless desire to claim what isn't truly ours. But beyond the deck chairs and the drama, something far bigger was happening in the world of cruising. Something that would change the industry forever. Far from the chaos on the P&O and Royal Caribbean ships, a celebration was taking place in Basel, Switzerland. The air buzzed with excitement as Viking Cruises announced a historic milestone, the first cruise line to operate a fleet of 100 ships. The crowd erupted in applause as 9 new river vessels were christened, each destined to sail the legendary waterways of Europe, Egypt, and Asia. The moment marked more than expansion, it was evolution. Viking had become a symbol of precision and luxury, offering travelers an escape from the chaos that sometimes haunted the open seas. From the serene Nile to the winding Mekong, each ship represented a promise that travel could still be elegant, peaceful, and pure. But even in this celebration, the shadow of David Morris's story lingered across headlines. His crime, shocking and violent, became a reminder that the ocean carries both dreams and darkness. The cruise industry was sailing into its golden age, but storms were gathering on the financial horizon, ready to test even the mightiest ships. By the end of that week, the numbers spoke louder than any anchor drop. Cruise line stocks had flattened. Carnival Corporation closed at $29.40. Royal Caribbean at $316.45, Norwegian at $23.47, and Viking at $60.39. For analysts, it was just another market day, but for those watching closely, it was a warning. Behind the numbers lay the human stories. Passengers shaken by scandal, crews overworked, and companies racing to maintain their image. Every headline about David Morris, every video clip of passengers fighting over deck chairs, chipped away at the fantasy the industry had built for decades. The idea that cruises were untouchable havens of leisure. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a reporter stood on the shore of Gibraltar, the great rock rising behind him. His voice carried a mix of professionalism and quiet melancholy. From the chaos on deck to the celebration in Basel, he said, "The cruise world has seen it all this week." His name was Doug Parker, the storyteller who brought these tales of the sea to life. The story of David Morris faded from the headlines, replaced by new scandals, new triumphs, and new journeys. Yet his name still lingers in the quiet conversations of passengers who remember that voyage, a reminder that darkness can travel anywhere, even on a ship built for dreams. As cruise lines rebuild their image, the waves continue to whisper lessons no one can ignore. Luxury and escape may draw people to the sea, but it's human behavior, our choices, our tempers, our empathy that define the journey. From the smallest act of kindness to the darkest burst of rage, every story becomes part of the ocean's vast memory. And as ships set sail each morning, the horizon gleams with both hope and warning. The sea forgives, but it never forgets. The next time you step aboard, look around. Every passenger carries a story, and sometimes the most peaceful voyage hides the deepest storm.